Have you ever wondered if that tiny spice tucked away in your kitchen, a single clove, could actually help solve the very problems that make life after 60 feel harder than it should? When you're doing everything right, eating well, taking your medications, following every rule, yet still waking up tired, bloated, achy, or mentally foggy, it's easy to blame age. But what if the real culprit is something no one told you about? Chronic inflammation and internal imbalance that slowly builds up over time. According to a recent study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, cloves are loaded with active compounds that ease inflammation, protect the liver, improve mental clarity, and help balance blood sugar, all without adding another prescription to your routine. The truth is, most people either don't use cloves at all, or they're using them in ways that miss the mark completely. Hello, I'm Vernon. I've spent over 25 years working in nutrition, helping older adults feel better without relying on extreme diets or trendy gimmicks. In today's video, I want to show you exactly how to unlock the real power of cloves. You might think you're already using them correctly, but what I discovered may prove otherwise. What surprised me most wasn't some new breakthrough or expensive protocol. It was something much simpler than I ever expected. Cloves kept appearing in the research not as flavoring, but as real support for inflammation, digestion, and immune health in aging bodies. I tried it myself, then shared it with a few clients to see if it really made a difference. The results were clear: less discomfort, better energy, and a growing sense of internal balance week by week. If you're looking for natural, science-backed ways to feel better after 60, you're absolutely in the right place. This kind of insight can truly change how you age. Subscribe now and tap the bell to stay informed. Now, let's explore how 2 tiny cloves might reshape the way your body feels and functions. Segment 1. Joint and inflammation relief. One of the first things I noticed, both in myself and in my clients, was a change in joint comfort. For many people over 60, that morning stiffness in the knees or fingers becomes an expected part of daily life. It creeps in quietly until everyday motions feel more like obstacles than second nature. That's exactly what Harold shared with me during our 3rd session together. He was 68, retired, and just wanted to walk his dog without winning every few steps. He said, "I'm not looking for miracles. I just want to move without feeling older than I am." He'd already tried turmeric, fish oil, and even anti-inflammatory medications, but none brought lasting relief. So I recommend something simpler, gentler, chewing 2 whole cloves a day, slowly and continuously. I asked him to give it 3 weeks, just to observe how his body responded to this small shift. When he called back, he didn't use fancy words. He just said, "My knees don't complain as loudly anymore." It wasn't instant or dramatic, but for Harold, that subtle relief felt like regaining a piece of his independence. And honestly, for seniors, that's the kind of progress that really matters. Cloves contain eugenol, a compound with strong anti-inflammatory properties supported by emerging clinical research. A 2018 study published in Biomedicine and Pharmacotherapy showed eugenol reduced key inflammatory markers in arthritic models. Unlike over-the-counter drugs, it works at the source, calming the body's inflammatory response without harsh side effects. What makes chewing powerful is how it activates enzymes in your saliva that help absorb these natural compounds. I've seen this small ritual, just 2 cloves a day, helps ease stiffness in shoulders, hips, and even the lower back. It's not a cure, but it's a consistent, side effect-free step toward more comfortable movement. These are the kinds of victories I care about, not flashy, but meaningful. The kind that adds dignity and ease back into ordinary days. Someone out there is still searching for a way to move through the day without pain. Tap the like button and hit subscribe, and you might quietly lead them here. What we feel in our joints is obvious: stiffness, ache, the way pain slows us down without asking. But what happens inside us, silently shaping how we function day after day, is often far more powerful and far more overlooked. Segment 2. Digestion and nutrient absorption. Ever wondered why you're eating healthy but still feel tired, bloated, or just off? We talk a lot about what we put into our bodies, superfoods, vitamins, balanced meals, but rarely do we talk about whether the body is actually receiving what we give it. For seniors especially, that silent gap between eating and absorbing is where real change begins. That was exactly what Louise was facing when we met. She was 72, bright, independent, and thoughtful, but food had become a daily letdown. "I eat like I'm supposed to," she told me, "but my body doesn't seem to notice." She wasn't overeating or choosing poorly. Her issue wasn't what was on her plate, it was what her body could no longer process well. After 60, digestive enzyme production often drops, which means even good food isn't broken down and absorbed the way it used to be. That gap, while invisible, can lead to fatigue, gas, discomfort, and a quiet decline in long-term health. I suggested a small addition. Chew 2 whole cloves each morning, slowly, letting the flavor fully release. Within 2 weeks, she noticed a change. Her stomach felt lighter, her energy more stable, and her digestion less noticeable, which is often the best sign of all. She didn't describe it as dramatic, more like her body was finally cooperating again. "It's like I eat and my system actually shows up to do the work," she laughed once. That may sound simple, but in senior health, that shift can be the difference between surviving the day and truly participating in it. Over time, she told me she had fewer food cravings, fewer midday crashes, and a deeper sense of trust in her body. And to me, that's what nutrition for seniors is really about. Not chasing perfection, but preserving that inner conversation between food and function. The reason it works lies in how cloves support digestion after 60, especially by preparing the body to receive nutrients. When you chew cloves, the compounds activate signals that trigger your system to wake up, produce enzymes, and optimize nutrient absorption. It's subtle but powerful, like flipping a forgotten switch. Moments like that often lead me to dig deeper, and sure enough, the data tells a remarkable similar story. A 2014 study in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that clove extract significantly increased levels of digestive enzymes like amylase and lipase. These enzymes help break down carbohydrates and fats, the very elements that often cause post-meal heaviness and fatigue in seniors. That ancient wisdom is finally getting the recognition it deserves through modern nutrition research. Here's what I'd love you to try. Share this video with someone who eats well but still feels tired, heavy, or off. Then, for the next 14 days, chew 2 whole cloves each morning, slowly, without rushing, just paying attention. Come back and share what you noticed. Your experience might guide someone else to begin. Everything shifts when the mind begins to blur. Names, thoughts, even time feel just out of reach. What comes next is rarely talked about, yet it's the first thing seniors fear losing without even realizing it. Segment 3. Mental clarity and cognitive support. There's a moment many describe but few know how to explain, when your body feels present but your mind feels elsewhere. It shows up as hesitation mid-sentence, rereading the same page, or feeling slower than you used to without knowing why. That kind of mental drift doesn't need to be dramatic to be real or to be deeply surprising. A 2019 study in Neurochemistry International observed that eugenol, the active compound in cloves, supported brain health improvement in aging test models. Researchers reported reduced neuroinflammation and better neuronal communication, 2 key areas linked to memory and cognitive clarity in later life. What stood out to me was how the study emphasized eugenol's protective role against oxidative stress in the brain, the kind that quietly builds over years and dulls mental sharpness without warning. It wasn't just about preserving memory, it was about preserving identity, presence, and the ability to stay fully engaged with life. One of my clients, Miriam, came to me around that same concern. She was 66, a retired teacher, witty and well-read, but said she couldn't finish a sentence without feeling like she was chasing it down. She said, "I'm not forgetting who I am. I just feel like I'm watching myself think from a few steps behind." She told me it wasn't just about memory slips. It was the way she no longer felt in sync with her own thoughts. That sense of disconnection was subtle, but to her, it felt like losing access to the part of herself she most trusted. I kept her routine simple. No brain supplements, no dramatic protocols. Just 2 whole cloves each morning, chewed slowly while the kettle boiled. She liked the warmth, the quiet ritual of it, something grounding before the day pulled her in different directions. After 2 weeks, she told me the fog had thinned. Her mind felt closer again. Conversations flowed. The fatigue behind her eyes had faded. Mental clarity after 60 is not just about holding on to memory, it's about feeling fully here. When your mind reconnects with your body, life becomes sharper, lighter, and deeply more human. Chewing cloves daily may sound simple, but in my experience, it's one of the most grounded and effective natural habits for mental vitality. Their antioxidant and immune-supporting properties work quietly, reducing internal stress that chips away at clarity over time. And when a shift like that happens, even something subtle, it often signals something deeper worth reflecting on. I've shared a lot with you in this video, but at its core, it all comes down to 3 essential shifts. Just 2 cloves a day may help your joints move more freely, support digestion, and restore that quiet clarity in your thinking. Not through force or formulas, but through daily support that meets your body where it is, not where you wish it were. These benefits don't stand apart, they build on one another. When pain fades, you move. When digestion flows, you eat with trust. When your mind is clear, you rejoin the world. And that's what really matters. Not just feeling better, but feeling like yourself again, in motion, in presence, in purpose. I still chew 2 cloves every morning, not for a miracle, but to protect what matters most. It's a small act of rhythm, one that reminds me my body isn't failing, it's listening. And it's still capable of change. If you had to choose less pain, better energy, or clearer thoughts, what would you ask your body for today? Leave it in the comments. You might be surprised who else quietly feels the same and is waiting for someone to speak first. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your voice might be the quiet nudge someone else needs to finally begin. If this video gave you something useful, give it a like, share it with someone still ignoring cloves, and subscribe for more grounded, science-backed guidance on senior health. Before you go, I genuinely recommend watching my video. Stop these 6 garlic mistakes to boost immunity after 60. It breaks down the most common ways seniors use garlic incorrectly, and how one small change could seriously improve your immune support. You can find the link to that video right below in the description.